In times of conflict and uncertainty, certain individuals stand out not because of the size of their armies or the weapons they wield, but because of their resourcefulness, cunning, and ability to thrive in the shadows. Yoshiko Kawashima, a Manchu princess turned Japanese spy, was one such figure. Her life was marked by a mastery of deception, adaptability, and an uncanny ability to manipulate people and situations to her advantage. For those who consider themselves prepared individuals, her story offers profound lessons in survival, intelligence, and unconventional thinking. Let's look at Yoshiko's journey into espionage, her role in asymmetric warfare, and how her methods resonate with modern-day survival tactics. By understanding her story, prepared individuals can learn how to better navigate challenging situations, outthink potential threats, and ultimately thrive in the face of adversity. Yoshiko Kawashima was born Aisinjoro Shianyu in 1907, a princess of the Qing dynasty. Her early life was one of privilege and tradition, earning her the nickname Toyo no Hoseki, or Eastern Jewel. But everything changed with the fall of the Qing dynasty in 1912. Stripped of their imperial status, Yoshiko's family faced exile and political obscurity. Seeking to preserve some semblance of power, Yoshiko's father sent her to live with Naniwa Kawashima, a Japanese nationalist and close associate of the family. This act, though framed as adoption, was more of a calculated political move, a bid to integrate Yoshiko into Japan's growing imperial ambitions. In Tokyo, Yoshiko was raised under Naniwa's strict and often manipulative guidance. She was immersed in Japanese culture, trained in traditional and military disciplines, and groomed to act as a cultural and political bridge between Japan and China, an act similar to what the Romans once did. This dual identity became both her greatest asset and her heaviest burden. As a Manchu princess living in Japan, she learned to navigate conflicting loyalties and to exploit her unique position for survival. Her rebellious nature began to surface in her teenage years. Rejecting traditional gender roles, Yoshiko adopted men's clothing and a masculine persona. While it could be seen that this decision was not merely an act of defiance but a calculated effort to transcend societal limitations and maneuver more freely in the male-dominated spheres of politics and espionage, it was also said that her adoptive father had assaulted her, impacting her personality and personal life decisions. In the end, her ability to blend identities became the cornerstone of her career as a spy. By the late 1920s, Yoshiko had been drawn into the world of espionage. Her fluency in multiple languages, combined with her aristocratic charm and sharp intellect, made her an invaluable asset to Japanese intelligence. She began working covertly, gathering information, forging alliances, and executing missions that required a delicate balance of persuasion and subterfuge. It was during the Shanghai incident of 1932 that Yoshiko's skills were fully realized. Working alongside Japanese General Ryukichi Tanaka, she orchestrated a network of informants and provocateurs to destabilize the region. Her efforts during this period demonstrated the power of psychological warfare, using fear, confusion, and misinformation to achieve objectives without direct confrontation. Yoshiko's life exemplifies the principles of asymmetric warfare, where smaller, unconventional forces and tactics can have disproportionate impact. Her actions were rarely about brute force. Instead, they focused on exploiting weaknesses, creating chaos, and using intelligence to outmaneuver larger adversaries. Intelligence is the ultimate weapon. Yoshiko's ability to gather and use intelligence was the foundation of her success. For prepared individuals, this underscores the importance of staying informed and understanding your environment. Building a network of trusted allies, monitoring local events, and analyzing potential threats are all critical components of preparedness. In a crisis, those who have the best information often have the upper hand. Adaptability is survival. Throughout her life, Yoshiko demonstrated an extraordinary ability to adapt to changing circumstances. She shifted identities, adopted new personas, and tailored her actions to fit the needs of the moment. Prepared individuals must cultivate this same adaptability. Whether it's adjusting plans in response to new information or improvising with limited resources, flexibility can mean the difference between success and failure. Psychological operations matter. Her use of propaganda in psychological warfare highlights the power of perception. In a survival scenario, managing group morale, maintaining a sense of control, and projecting confidence can be as important as physical resources. Additionally, misinformation can be used to mislead potential threats and protect your position. The power of small-scale actions. As an individual operative, Yoshiko often achieved results that far exceeded her limited resources. She leveraged her intelligence, charm, and cunning to influence events on a much larger scale. Prepared individuals can take inspiration from this by focusing on strategic actions that create ripple effects. For example, securing key resources or forming alliances can have far-reaching benefits in a crisis. Blending in and disappearing. One of Yoshiko's greatest skills was her ability to move undetected in hostile environments. Learning to blend into different settings and avoid attracting attention is a vital skill. Whether it's dressing to match your surroundings, the people around you, altering your behavior, or using deception, the ability to remain unnoticed is a powerful survival tool. Yoshiko's story also teaches us that survival is not just about external challenges, but also internal resilience. She lived a life filled with contradictions and conflicts, yet she managed to persevere and thrive under extraordinary pressure. This resilience, mental, emotional, and physical, is something every person should cultivate. People should also focus on long-term strategies, such as developing practical skills like first aid, navigation, building sustainable supply chains, and creating contingency plans for various scenarios. Yes, this does also include going to school, having a good job, knowing how to manage your finances, knowing how to navigate various laws and systems depending on where you live. These proactive measures align with the principles of asymmetric warfare, emphasizing preparation, understanding, adaptability, and strategic thinking over sheer strength and brute force.
Just a quick insert, because as much as I hate leaving things unpolished, I think it would be a disservice to leave this information out. So while crawling through some other web pages to finalize the video and get the main points down, I went down a little bit of a side story that still hasn't been resolved to this day. A short while after the execution, a family came forward saying that it was their relative, a woman named Fang, who was actually killed instead. They reported that their relative was terminally ill and in the same prison, and that people in Yoshiko's circle had bribed them and others to let her take Yoshiko's place at the execution ground. Now, despite the trial being very public, Yoshiko was also led to the execution grounds masked up well before any COVID-19 scare. The only people present when she was shot were the firing squad and 2 foreign correspondents. This was despite the fact that the whole 3-year-long trial was public. The Chinese reporters were so angry at this that they tried breaking down the doors to get inside. She was shot through the back of the head, effectively disfiguring her face, and quickly brought outside and displayed before they could breach the door. In the mid-2000s, a person named Zhang Yu claimed that Grandma Feng had lived in Changchun until she died in 1978. Her small home had nice furniture, she didn't seem to work yet kept the bills paid, and had help. She would regularly go to a temple to pray, and in the wintertime go to another home that she had in Zhejiang. She had interesting relics on her property and in the property of her friend who passed away in 2000. No DNA could be compared due to cremation, and the fingerprints were long gone from everything. In addition, a portrait was brought to Yoshiko Yamaguchi, one-time friend and possible lover of Kawashima, who identified the portrait as the gender-bending spy. Many of the Chinese sources end with a denouncement of Kawashima, saying things like, "It's only for historical record anyway, and it doesn't matter if it's true." And such a person is destined to lie in the garbage heap forever, due to being declared a traitor to the Han race. We must also remember that her dynasty was folded unceremoniously and that Japan had promised to reinstate the Qing dynasty. She said it herself that she was loyal to her blood and to her people, seeing the Republic of China and other rebels as competing groups. History, just like Yoshiko, is complicated, as are we all. It's good to keep these lessons in mind. Anyway, that's my quick insert.
Yoshiko Kawashima's life was one of complexity, defiance, and ingenuity. Her ability to adapt, gather intelligence, and operate in the shadows serves as a masterclass in asymmetric warfare and survival. When the Japanese inevitably lost World War II, her luck ran out at the hands of the Chinese groups that she helped suppress, leading back to that important lesson about being supported by a network of people. Her story is not just a fascinating historical account, but a source of practical lessons that remain relevant today. In an unpredictable world, her legacy challenges us to think beyond conventional approaches, to embrace creativity and cunning, and to prepare for the unexpected with the same determination and resourcefulness that defined her extraordinary life. Her downfall is the most important lesson. When you have no one to back you up, when you have no support system, when you have no one behind you, your entire situation, your entire life, is going to be at the mercy of others. Be good, stay safe, and have a good one.